Welcome to the Explainer. So today, we are going on this incredible, cinematic, microscopic journey deep inside the human body. We're going to literally shrink down and track the fascinating, high-speed biological voyage of amino acids. We'll follow them right from the moment they hit your stomach, rushing through your bloodstream, into your muscles, and all the way up to the highly guarded security gates of your brain. Get ready, because the unseen machinery operating inside you right now, it's absolutely mind-blowing.
Now, you might be wondering, what exactly happens inside your body the second you consume amino acids? I want you to imagine the hidden high-stakes metabolic battles happening right beneath your skin every single time you train. You know, when you finish a heavy set of squats or, say, a brutal endurance run, your body practically becomes this chaotic biochemical construction site. It is desperately searching for building materials and energy. But how do those materials actually get to where they need to go? And what happens the literal second you swallow them?
Okay, let's dive into this by establishing our baseline. You see, when you eat a complex dietary protein, like a piece of chicken breast or a big steak, your digestive system basically has to act like a massive, slow-moving factory. It uses heavy mechanical churning and chemical enzymes, like pepsin, to slowly chop those long protein chains into individual pieces. But free-form amino acids, they're a completely different story. They are essentially pre-cut metabolic building blocks because they require zero enzymatic hydrolysis, meaning absolutely no chemical breakdown is required. They just skip the factory processing time entirely. Which brings us to part one, the fast track, or gut absorption.
Let's zoom right into the cellular level of your small intestine. So that intact protein factory we just talked about, that takes anywhere from 90 to 240 minutes to finally show up in your systemic circulation. It's a very slow, steady trickle. But free-form amino acids act like a high-speed express conveyor belt. They completely bypass that complex digestion phase. Utilizing direct solute carrier transport, they rush right into your bloodstream in just 15 to 45 minutes. This rapid, direct influx causes what scientists call hyperamino acidemia. It's basically a profound, sudden spike in your plasma amino acid concentrations.
And here's the absolute hero of that rapid conveyor belt, the PEP1 transporter. Located right on your intestinal wall, it acts as a cellular high-speed lane. By using an inwardly directed proton gradient, which is essentially a localized energy charge, it actively pumps these nutrients straight across the cell membrane. This mechanism literally allows free aminos to completely bypass the liver's initial processing, flooding directly into your bloodstream. It's a real biological shortcut.
Moving on to part two, igniting growth, specifically through the mTOR pathway.
So, as our amino acids are riding the rapid currents of your bloodstream straight into the muscle, one specific branched-chain amino acid completely takes the lead, and that's leucine. But here's the catch. To actually trigger muscle growth, you really need to hit the leucine threshold, which is roughly 2 to 3 grams for healthy young adults. When you finally hit this specific concentration, leucine binds to a sensor protein called cestrin-2. And this vital interaction is absolutely crucial. It basically releases the biological parking brake, effectively removing the inhibition of the all-important mTORC1 pathway. And that pathway is the absolute master regulator of muscle protein synthesis. Now, what's really interesting about this slide is the exact division of labor happening here. Think of leucine as the foreman on a busy construction site. In the initiation phase, the foreman blows the whistle to start the work. But obviously, just blowing a whistle doesn't actually build a wall, right? In the elongation phase, your cellular ribosomes are the ones actually assembling the protein chains, and they absolutely require all 9 essential amino acids to get the job done. You need the full crew of workers and all the bricks to complete the structure. And this brings us to a brilliant, simple metaphor from the research community. Taking BCAAs in total isolation without the other essential amino acids is exactly like turning on a light switch when there's no power supply. You can flip that leucine switch up and down all you want, but without the other necessary building blocks, the electricity, so to speak, muscle protein synthesis simply cannot occur. The biological circuit is just broken. All right, part 3, shielding muscle and surviving the deficit. So what happens when you aren't trying to build, but you're actually just trying to survive a caloric deficit? Well, your body starts looking for emergency fuel. If it can't find it in your diet, it might try to burn the furniture, just to keep the house warm, meaning it starts breaking down your hard-earned muscle. But BCAAs and their metabolites act as this incredible biological shield. Their oxidation in the TCA cycle provides direct muscular ATP. They essentially act as a spare log for the metabolic fire, which spares your actual muscle proteins from being oxidized for fuel. And it gets even more dramatic. Leucine actually performs a kind of cellular rescue mission here. During extreme energy restriction, your body ramps up the expression of atrophogenes, specifically known as MRF1 and atragon-1. These are the nasty biological signals that literally tag your muscle fibers for a dismantling in the ubitin proteasome pathway. But leucine steps right in to bypass the energy-sensing AMPK signals and actively downregulates, or basically shuts off, these destructive atrophogenes. It literally preserves your tissue from the inside out.
Let's head up to part 4, the brain's security gates. To really see this next mechanism, we have to zoom out from the muscle and travel all the way up to the blood-brain barrier. This is the central fatigue hypothesis, and it plays out like an intense chronological race. As you exercise, step 1 happens. Your muscles burn through plasma BCAAs for energy. Then, step 2. Your free fatty acids rise, displacing an amino acid called tryptophan from its transport proteins. Step 3, this newly freed tryptophan races right to the brain's security gate, the LAT1 carrier, and sneaks its way through. Finally, step 4, once inside the brain, this sleepy tryptophan converts into serotonin, and bam, that triggers lethargy and severe mental exhaustion. And this brilliantly illustrates exactly where supplemental amino acids intervene. Exogenous BCAAs act as faster, much more aggressive runners at that security gate. By saturating the LAT1 transporter with BCAAs, you effectively block that sleepy tryptophan from entering the brain. So by keeping tryptophan out, you prevent that huge spike in serotonin, which maintains your cognitive drive and significantly lowers your perceived exertion during a grueling workout. It's like having a VIP bouncer for your brain. Finally, part 5, the reality check and the full EAA toolkit. We've seen all these microscopic miracles, but to really summarize this explainer, we have to look at the hard scientific reality of what aminos can and absolutely cannot do. They are what we like to call incremental optimizers. They can reduce your muscle soreness, they can definitely delay your mental fatigue, and they provide a strong anabolic shield in a calorie deficit. But listen, they absolutely cannot compensate for a terrible overall diet, and they cannot force muscle growth if you aren't providing the intense mechanical tension of heavy lifting. And as we learned earlier, they simply cannot work their magic if the full profile of all 9 essential amino acids isn't present. So after taking this fantastic voyage through your own biology, you now understand the high-speed transporters in your gut, the molecular switches in your muscles, and the fierce security gates up in your brain. The next time you step into the gym or lace up for a long run, ask yourself this. Knowing the unseen machinery operating inside you, are you fueling your body's true potential with the complete building blocks it desperately needs, or are you just turning on a light switch with absolutely no power supply? Keep learning, keep optimizing, and I'll catch you in the next explainer.